Hello, this is High Templar with my new Total War Warhammer DLC speculation video, and today we'll be talking about new legendary lords for dwarves that we will get for free. Well, at least that's what the signs tell us. This is a Green Brindle, the White Dwarf, one of the most important characters in the Warhammer universe. This guy is actually the mascot of the White Dwarf magazine, which is the, well, official Warhammer magazine. And that's big, and we will get him for free. And there is some controversy with it, and with him we will most likely get a new DLC, like a Green Engrave was for Empire and Vampire accounts. We will get a DLC for the Dwarfs and the Greenskins. And how do I know that? Well, if you've been following the Total War Center and the community and the press, you would already know that. I've encountered this first article well, when it was released, like on September 2, but I didn't give it too much thought, because there is only one mentioning in the code in the database of Green Brindle, the White Dwarf. But obviously people already references to the Green Engrave and with the Vlad, which is exactly the same thing as I did now. So yeah, I thought this is pretty good, but we might not get him yet. There is just not enough proof, because he might be mentioned somewhere else. Like the Godrek Gurison is mentioned in the database, but we haven't seen him. So then we got another leak that came out when I was actually on the business trip, so I haven't catch this. Now I only just catching up basically with everything, and I've spotted it, and I wanted to make a video straight away. As you can see here, there is a Total War Warhammer. This is actually White Dwarf magazine, that it's a November issue, most likely, and it's featuring Green Brindle, the White Dwarf, exclusive free new lord. Now, the word exclusive made people triggered, because if that's true, you will only get him with the White Dwarf magazine, which is not released in every country. Like, it used to be released in mine, but it's not anymore, so I would be slightly mad if there was a legendary lord that I can get that I cannot get. And also, he's not really free if you have to buy a magazine which you would otherwise not buy, right? So yeah, controversies. Let's talk about the guy himself. The Green Brindle is standard melee lord, not mounted. Pretty boring, you would think, but he's a very interesting rule in tabletop. I know, rules from the tabletop so far were almost never moved to the Total War, but he has a rule that he only shows up on your radar, on your enemy radar, when he is added to the unit, and when this unit engaged, he only then shows up, because he's pretty much a ghost. But that's not really that important. What is important is that it's mimic the Stalk ability from the Total War Warhammer. And it would be awesome if you would get him to have a Stalk ability for entire army, like the Vlad has Vanguard for entire army. I mean, it would be just beautiful. Do you imagine that? Because the Dwarfs' worst nightmare is basically cavalry and range units that can just pick, I mean, handgunners and stuff. So that would make him a lot stronger, but only in campaign, obviously. It's saying like that. But I'm not saying this will happen. I don't know what will happen, but we will get him. That's for sure. So let's talk about the DLC itself, and it will contain Dwarf and Greenskins units. That's pretty much a given. We will get some regiments of renown with it, and I will probably make another video about it, because I have to, well, prepare it, make more research. You wouldn't believe how much preparation those videos takes. However, let's talk about those legendary lords. My first pick would be Torek Ironbrow, because he's a rune master. He's like runesmith, but like lord level. And so far we only get melee lords for dwarves. Would be very cool to have one that is not. He's more into other stuff. And also because we get, you know, stuff like Mortis Engine and Corpse Guards and Altar of Sigmar, it would be very cool to have this anvil. That is very important, Anvil Doom, that is very important for the dwarves in the tabletop. Very cool unit, and I would love to have that somehow. I don't know how, because it's normally unmovable, but maybe you can, you know, carry it by dwarves like Torgrim is? Maybe? I don't know. We shall see. Oh dear dear. Then another pick is much less probable, but still, you know, if we will get your standard melee lord, maybe it could be Belegar Ironhammer. He's pretty badass, as you can see. Probably very high armor that guy will have, I'm pretty sure. Or we can get another one. This is Green Burloxon, and he's engineer, as you can see. Would be also very cool to have an engineer, much more than your standard melee lord. And we got both lords that we get in Green and Grey were mostly buffing lords, so I would see other Torek on the green. However, his name is Green, and we just got Green and Grey DLC, so you might see where I'm going with it. I don't think he will make it, but you know, CA might surprise me. And I think that are most three likely characters. I won't be mentioning every named character for Dwarves. So let's just go for Lord characters, standard Lord characters that you can get in bulk. And I'm thinking Demon Slayer. We have hero level Dragon Slayers that are not yet in a game, and maybe they won't be, but it would be cool to have them. But we also have Lord level Demon Slayers. And the Demon Slayers are just so cool. We have Ulgrim, we have Slayers, it will be easy to implement the guy. And if he would be able to equip with healing potions now. Yeah, I know, Slayers are there to die, but he's a general. So healing potion on that guy would be pretty amazing multiplayer, and there are many people waiting for the dwarves to be more competitive. Because while they are decent in multiplayer and they are being used in top level tournaments, they are still on average pretty beatable, and that guy just might push it in the right direction, if you know what I mean. And just look at the art that is being done by the community for the Demon Slayers and the Slayers in general. I mean, Slayers are iconic, so it would be very, very, very cool to have them. Then it's something that I'm not sure will get there, and this is Bolt Thrower. You might think that the Bolt Throwers will get in the beginning of the Total War Warhammer because they are just ballistas. And we already get ballistas in previous Total War in the previous Total War series, right? So it will be easy to implement them. However, dwarves already have a cannon with similar, you know, ballistic possibilities, but are more, you know, powerful, basically. So having a bolt thrower, maybe it will be very cheap, like 600. It will be useful. I don't know. We shall see. I'm not sure about that one. What I would really want to get my hands on when playing Dwarfs would be Rangers. Now, in tabletop, those guys have crossbows, but also have throwing axes. And while I'm not sure about crossbows, I mean, another crossbow unit, not really that great. Obviously, those guys are scouts, so stalk ability, which is obviously awesome to extent I wouldn't be able to express. But they also have throwing axes, and throwing axes in Total War Warhammer are armor piercing. So you will get a unit with like 90 range, but armor piercing damage that is stalk unit. So you can get it around your enemy, maybe Vanguard also, and shower them with those axes, breaking even the armored units. That would be something I would like to see very much. And those guys are obviously very powerful on their own. They have decent armor, they have decent weapons, as you can see here. So you cannot really, in most other cases, with most other Vanguard deployed units, stalking units, they are pretty, if you spot them, they are pretty much dead meat. Not so much with those guys. So like I said, very I would really like to see them, but I don't know if we will. We shall see. Let's go to orcs, and with orcs, for the legendary lords, I have no clue, really. I have 4 guys that I think would be cool to have, but I don't know, just not sure about them. Like, not 50% sure we will get any of those guys. I'm like 90% sure that we'll get one of the 4, but you know, not sure, really not sure which one. So first is a Grombold Iron Claw, and this guy is a very good melee lord, just your standard warlord, but you know, legendary on very nice piggy. And this war piggy, I would see it as a unique mount, similar to, you know, other unique mount basically. Would be pretty cool to see this guy implemented in very heavy on. And you know, as you can see here, although he is you know, Black Orc, there is you know, controversy about tabletop Black Orcs actually have this armed to teeth rule, so they carry pretty much every weapon. But yeah, not getting into this one. So Grombold Ironclaw as a melee lord, but we have also Wurzak, the Great Green Prophet, which is obviously a shaman for the Great War, Gorg disciple basically. And we haven't seen legendary lord that is caster, so I also see him as probable choice, very interesting choice. Then we have Grom the Pouch and of Misty Mountain. And why I see this guy? Because he's Goblin Big Boss basically, but on a chariot, and in the Green Grave we've seen the Corpse Cards and the Altar of Sigmar and stuff. So, and the Mortis Enchant. So we might see some interesting, I would like to see some interesting mounts for the lords. So I think we might get this one, or we might get Korsnik, Warlord of the Apex, who also have some casting abilities. Also, as you can see, he's a Night Goblin, would be very cool. And this thing beside him, well, he might be mounts, and I will talk about later on, because I would really like to see Squeaks, because this is called Squeak. But yeah, let's talk about them in a moment. Let's go for more boring stuff right now. Let's drop the Legendary Lords and let's go to the normal Lord level character that I think will be most likely to get into the game, because this is Savage Orc Warboss. And Savage Orc Warboss is pretty nice because he is different than the Orc Boss significantly enough to be an interesting choice for Total War Warhammer, because he doesn't have armor, but he does have a war paint, and he obviously is a Savage Orc, so you know, he's pretty badass. The other option that is less likely, I would see, is the Black Orc War Boss, who's I wouldn't see him as a choice because you know, he's just better Orc War Boss. He's armor piercing, more heavily armored, and better at everything, pretty much. So not that interesting. Maybe if we will get him, like, you know, if we can get him without a mount, because Black Orc too big basically for a mount. Unless, yeah, some kind of legendary like for the Gorbald, something. But, you know, Black Orc, so no mount options and more expensive. That would be also be an interesting choice. If you get him healing potion, he might stay in the fight for a long time. But you will have to pay for it, right? So the other option is also Orc Shaman, but I don't see it really, so I'm not mentioning that much. Then we have another ballista. This is the Goblin Spear Chaka. Yeah, like I said, a Goblin ballista. What is interesting is that Goblin doesn't really have weapons firing in this particular arc of fire, so cheap ballista would just do it as an interesting option to Rock Lobber, or not really a Doom Diver, but Orc Lobber. Well, yeah, pretty cool. It would be pretty cool to have it. It might be useful in multiplayer. But I'm not convinced we will get that. What I would really like to see, but also not convinced, but would really like to see, is Quick Herd. So those guys are, well, basically jumping, hopping and stuff. They would be working, I mean, I want to say they would be working like a Warhounds in Rome 2, but I'm pretty sure because they're similar how they work in tabletop, but I think they will work just similar to the Warhounds in Warhammer, without those releasing stuff, being a bit slower but having more punch, to say. Yeah, it would be very cool to have them, because they are a very nice unit, giving more versatility. However, I'm not sure if we really do need more versatility in orcs in Greenskins. But I would love to see them. Pretty challenging to make that unit and the animation, but on the other hand, if you've seen the Minotaur jumping into a unit and tumbling animation, I was like in awe. So it's certainly doable by the Creative Assembly, just questions would they do it. However, if they do it, we might have Night Goblin Squeak Hoppers, which would be another cav for the Greenskins. Would be pretty cool unit, I would think. I would think, basically. And then we have even bigger Squig, Mangler's Squig, and as you can see, those Night Goblins are barely holding to it, and they are enormous. Probably working similar way as, say, Razor Guard, like 24 in unit or even 12 in unit, depending on how strong those things will be. Also, Squigs are having some more. They are very strange unit in tabletop. I mean, not strange. They have lots of special rules. They are very unpredictable. They, you know, for example, explode when they die. So they are very unique. But I don't think we'll see those rules in the Warhammer, because that would be pretty painful in the campaign when they will explode, but at the same time would be very powerful in multiplayer to use them. And the last unit I want to mention are Snotlings. They were missing from your normal Greenskins roster. They are basically a speed bump unit that I would see in the 160 men, but those guys basically smaller goblins. So it would be cool to see them, really, because, you know, if you know Warhammer, you know what Snotling is. They are very small, but, you know, basically a speed bump, something very cheap, 150 or 200. They would be a worse speed bump than the Greenskins, than the goblins, because, than the zombies, sorry, I was mentioning. They would be worse speed bump than zombies, because zombies don't run, and those guys will certainly run at the first sight of the enemy, actually. So, good thing to pop up when you just need this speed bump against shock cap. That would be very annoying indeed to have those guys in multiplayer. I would really like to use them. Anyhow, this is it. This is all I wanted to talk about. I hope you like it. If you did, press like. If you want to comment, please leave a comment. And I also would like to recommend my other videos, my DLC speculation videos, my Total War Warhammer mechanic videos, but also my Let's Plays from Total War series and other games. Thank you for watching, and see you later.